Welcome to Cook Studio Review. I'm Enzo. The following content is presented from the perspective of a mixing engineer. In May of last year, when I went to Chengdu, I had the opportunity to listen to a rather interesting pair of M20x headphones at my friend Fate's house. I borrowed that pair from him and also purchased a pair from the official store to see how these two pairs of M20x perform. Let's start with the appearance. The design of the M20x is the simplest among the MX series. Except for the metal construction inside the adjustable headband, the rest of the headphones are made of a solid black plastic, without the silver ring on the front like the M50x. Personally, I found it more visually appealing. The model identification of the M20x is inconspicuously placed on the outer sides. The cable is not detachable, so if it gets damaged, you will need to seek repair for soldering. The headband and ear cup are still made of protein leather material, which has a relatively firm texture. It's unknown whether it will peel off with long-term use. The extensive use of plastic in the overall construction may not give a high-end feel, but the advantage is that the weight is well controlled at around 256 grams. Considering the price range of around $49 for these headphones, it's reasonable not to expect too much in terms of craftsmanship. Let's take a look at sound performance. Frequency response. The borrowed M20x, labeled as Sample 1, exhibits a significant attenuation of over 10 dB between 3 kHz and 6 kHz. There's also a noticeable peak in the high frequency above 10 kHz. At 300 Hz, there is a relatively small attenuation. Interestingly, it starts experiencing a severe low-frequency roll-off from 100 Hz, with a 10 dB attenuation at 40 Hz. This is a pair of headphones with weak bass extension. Switching to the self-purchased Sample 2, the high-frequency attenuation position and magnitude are relatively similar, but the high-frequency peak is absent, resulting in a smoother response. Of course, this can sometimes be influenced by the feed. The low-frequency roll-off is eliminated, and there is no significant attenuation even down to 30 Hz. Instead, there is an overall mid-low frequency gain below 200 Hz. Sample 2 is a headphone that sounds more balanced due to the inconsistency in product quality. Different M20x units may have different sound signature. Distortion. On the normal listening levels, Sample 1 exhibits relatively clean mid-range frequencies between 400 Hz and 1800 Hz. Other areas such as the lower mid-range below 300 Hz and the upper mid-range above 2 kHz have relatively higher distortion. Overall distortion can be kept within 1% or less. When pushed to the limits during high sound pressure testing, the distortion remains within a usable range, but there is distance from a clean and transparent playback. Switching to Sample 2, the mid-range becomes cleaner compared to Sample 1. The high-frequency distortion peak is still present, but with fewer peaks at precisions like 2 kHz compared to Sample 1. The distortion in the low-frequency range also tends to be more inclined towards third harmonic distortion. Let's enter the Cook Studio mixing space. Due to the severe low-frequency roll-off in Sample 1, the bass and the depths of other instruments are lost, resulting in a lack of foundation in the low frequencies. The high-frequency peak enlarged the volume of high-frequency percussion instruments. The attenuation in the upper mid-range makes most instruments sound warmer. Look at the interaural level difference. Sample 1 exhibits a severe inconsistency between the left and right drivers. The low frequency on the left side are even lower by 7 to 8 dB compared to the frequency response graph mentioned earlier. There are also various tonal imbalances in the upper mid-range starting from 2 kHz. As a result, Sample 1 of M20x cannot accurately reproduce the spatiality of instruments. The combination of distortion and tonal imbalances results in a very flat and blurry playback. Moreover, all instruments sound tilted towards the right ear. Overall, it is an unusable sound state. The situation has improved significantly in Sample 2. The upper mid-range frequencies are similar, but with a smoother response, avoiding excessive emphasis on the high frequencies. There is bass extension and some gain in the low frequencies, resulting in increased volume for bass instruments. Although there are still some tonal imbalances present, they are less noticeable compared to Sample 1. Some mild tonal imbalances and distortion contribute to slight coloration in Sample 2, and the center imaging may not be as solid. However, considering the price range of these headphones, Sample 2 is in a relatively okay stage. If Audio-Technica has the ability to produce excellent headphone products like the R70X, then the incurring problems in M20X seem more like they don't care much about low-end products. The reputation of a major brand needs to maintain with excellent product quality, at least in terms of the poor quality control observed in the M20X. There are many issues they need to address. This is Cook Studio Review. Please stay tuned. I'll continue to explore the secrets of headphones with you.